Hey guys, Welsknight here, and welcome back to another episode of our Nordic Village Let's Build. And in today's episode, I think I want to start tackling some of the houses that we have marked out here. Last episode, we built this guard tower, and I basically copy and pasted a couple more of them with world. I thought I fixed that. I copy and pasted a couple more of them with World Edit. So we've now got one over here, kind of overlooking the market, one here, kind of overlooking the river as you come in, and then we've got, obviously, the one that we built. So today, I want to tackle at least one of these houses. I'm thinking this one for starters. These yellow boxes represent where we're going to be putting houses. Not exactly dimensions-wise, like I might tweak the dimensions a little bit, but just kind of laying out this is a spot where a house is going to go, more than anything else. So let's grab a few things. Let's grab some oak logs, and let's also grab some oak planks. And I think I'm going to start this house right about here. Actually, yeah, I think right about here. Let's go ahead and get rid of this wool, because we already know the area that we're kind of working in here. Now, one thing, when I originally kind of laid this out, this road right here was intended to go this way. However, it didn't. So we actually have some extra space here that we can use for this house, and we might take advantage of that. We'll do like a T-shaped house. So maybe we go here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And we put a block down there. Then over here we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And put a block down there. And then here. And maybe like this. Maybe we just kind of bring that out a little bit. That could be kind of cool. Now, let's look at what log textures we have to work with as well. Because, and the reason I say that is, the logs in Conquest actually have really kind of a cool property in that if you place them sideways, they do this, and it really kind of gives like a log siding feel, kind of like what we have here in these warehouses, and I really like that. Although I don't necessarily know that I want to use it for the houses themselves. So maybe we'll do that, maybe we won't. I do want to make little kind of L-shaped windows like this for these areas. And maybe we'll do something kind of like that. That might be all right. And then here, we can do that and that. So then, when we put in these logs, they'll all connect the way that we want them to. Like so, there we go. So, we basically have a house that's kind of shaped like this. And this looks a little weird. I know. It's okay. Don't worry. It'll look better in a minute. Let's take that and go to here. And let's go stack 4. Just to bring that up a bit. And that doesn't look too bad. That doesn't look too bad. Okay, now we're going to take our logs and bring them kind of across like this. Just to kind of frame this area out. There we go. That looks all right. And then we need to start thinking about our roof. So let's grab some dark oak, because this is only going to be a 1-story house. I know that for sure. Let's grab some dark oak, and let's grab some spruce. There we go. And right here, I think we'll go ahead and put a line of dark oak like this. And a line like that. line like this, and over, and over. Okay, then here, we'll start kind of bringing these up. Actually, we should probably do these sides first since they have a lot farther to go. So let's just kind of go up, over, up, over, up, over. And is that our center? No, it's still not. Man. That's all right. Here, there. That should be our center. Okay. Now here, we're going to do essentially the same thing. Oh, there, up, over, there, there, there. And then here, we'll do something like that. Okay. So that works. Now here, we have a lot more height to kind of make up if we want to. And I think, I don't necessarily want this front part to be as high as the rest of it, but at the same time, I don't want it to be super far down either. So I think that's good. Now, let me go ahead and get the other portions of this done. They're going to be done exactly the way I just did the bit that I showed you. So let me get that taken care of, and I'll come right back to you. All right, guys, I am back. So I've got that taken care of. So now I just need to get the backing behind these roofs. And that's pretty easy to do. You just fill in the spots that reveal air. So not too difficult. And there we go. And that way from the front, it looks something like this, which I think is a relatively good look. I'm perfectly fine with that. I do want to bring these logs up a little bit here in these corners. I just think that's a better look than, I want to keep this little part kind of separated out, if that makes sense. Okay, so that's good. Now we need to see about getting our roof in here. So we're going to go ahead and take our spruce. Ooh, I didn't think of that. That's going to be a problem. Okay, so just kidding. I'm going to go back to the drawing board, and I'm going to lower the pitch of these roofs on the sides, or the front and the back, I guess, a little bit, because otherwise they're not going to match up and it's going to look super derp when I put the roof on. Totally should have thought of that. Okay, let's try this again. So we've got that part. Now that we have that worked out properly, now we can go through here. That's dark oak. That's not what I want. I want spruce. There we go. We can go through here now and actually hook this up the way that we want. So we will go ahead and get all of these lines in place, and we're basically just kind of following our outline that we already have, and then we'll go back and tweak a couple things as needed. So nothing super difficult, nothing super complicated. Here we'll come all the way across. Here we will do the same thing that we just did on the other side. Actually, let's finish this side together, and then I'll do the other side off camera. So we're just following our outline, and all I'm doing is basically making sure that the stair is a little bit lower than the other side. So it works out. It looks better that way, if you ask me, and that's what we're going to do. So let me go ahead and get this side done, and I'll come back to you in a moment. All right, I am back. So we've got these houses kind of in place, and they're looking okay. They look all right, but they're really not Nordic just yet. They don't have that Nordic vibe and that Nordic feel to them that we want. So one thing we can do to help that is we can go ahead and put these little bits kind of sticking off the edge of the top. That will help a little. You can see it kind of rises up and kind of comes out. However, that's still not very Nordic. So the next thing we're actually going to do is we'll take a couple dark oak planks We'll knock out this row, and then after maybe 3 of those, we'll switch to slabs, go maybe 2, and then here, I'll switch to planks again, right? So we've got now kind of this arched, this like downward arch feel to it, which is pretty cool. It's good. It's a start. Here we'll do kind of the same thing, but we'll do it using slabs and slabs and full blocks. So the first one will be a slab, second one will be a stair, and then a slab like that. So you still get that kind of arched feeling, right? But that by itself is probably not going to be enough because this is still very visible. So what we'll do is right here, we can turn this stair. We can sneak some spruce wood planks back here, and we can put some slabs down like that, or better yet, like that. And that essentially kind of arches the whole roof. And we can do that in here as well. I mean, we can essentially do this wherever we need to. So here, slabs, and just kind of coming down at an arch like that. And it looks all right. It looks okay. However, it's going to look pretty derp from the inside. So let's kind of, whoa, you guys probably cannot see anything whatsoever right now. Let's toss down a couple torches so you can hopefully see a little bit. And we'll just throw a couple up in here as well. There we go. So what we can do here is basically just add another layer of spruce to the back. And that will help pretty significantly with making that look better on both sides, in fact. So here we've kind of got the spruce coming down. You can see it. It's there. And we're essentially going to do that. Maybe we'll get rid of these, and maybe we'll change these out for just plain old slabs. Because we want to kind of... Yeah, that's a little better. There we go. That's much better, in fact. So I think that's good. Now here, this is going to be kind of a tricky one. Because... we're going to have to turn it like right there in order for this to be... Yeah, I think that'll work. I'm trying to work this part is is one that I've never actually done before. Never done a roof quite like this. I've done many that were similar to it, but nothing quite like this before. So maybe like that. And then we put our spruce logs behind, like so. How's that look? Yeah, you still get the feeling. And then maybe here. Maybe this one we don't turn. Right? Maybe right here it kind of works its way back up a little bit. So, like, that's a stair, and that's a stair. Yeah, that's not bad. That's not bad. That's a lot better than it was. That's a lot better than it was. Okay, awesome. So now, I need to go and do that to the other side. Alright guys, I am back. So we've got that taken care of. The roof actually looks relatively good. I think it's alright. Now we need to see about adding some life and some detail to this whole thing. So, first and foremost, let's look at windows. I'm thinking we'll put a couple of windows in this. We'll do 2 high windows in the locations where it kind of makes sense. So like here and here it would make sense. And then right here, it probably would make sense. We'll end up... Was I going to have a road that went through there? I don't think I was. In fact, I'm almost positive I wasn't. So this whole thing is going to get peeled back a bit. There we go. Okay, so that's taken care of. Now, we need floors. I personally, when I do floors, I like to have my floors match the material of my ceiling. So we're gonna go spruce for our floors in here. There we go. And then we also need to kind of fix up our ceiling a little bit. Because right now we've got stuff sticking out where we don't want it to, and it looks pretty bad, and it's just not good. So we'll do that. Now, let's grab some oak logs. There we go. And I think we'll put one right down the middle there. And maybe one here? Maybe not. Maybe one coming out like this. Yeah, and then actually, then we could run this down the center, and it's like a support beam, right? Basically acting like it's holding up kind of the whole house, which I think is kind of a cool effect, kind of a cool feature, if you will. We can also run this guy over the very top, like it's helping to hold up the roof a little bit. There we go. You can kind of see that up there. And then let's take some spruce stairs and some spruce slabs. And I think I want to make a little staircase here. So first thing we want to do is figure out where our staircase is actually going to come out. We could do this. And then maybe what we do is we turn it right here. So it kind of goes up and over like that. That could be kind of cool. Maybe we bring a log down right here and right there. And bring that one over too. So we kind of wall off this little area right here. And then maybe we make this some sort of a room. You know, a little side room or bedroom or, you know, whatever. Let's put a torch here. And a torch here. Right? So we've got kind of this little space right here that's not really doing anything. I don't like the fact that that's just kind of sticking out, so we'll put a log right there. Or the other option would be to bring that down and essentially turn this into like a little closet or something. Or maybe a bathroom. Maybe that's the bathroom. And then we hide that window, or we do something different with this window, like turn it into like some sort of window that you can't actually see through, you know, something like that. But that should be fine. Okay. Now here, we've still got this staircase, and I'm thinking right here, I'm gonna kind of bring that up like this. We'll put a log there. That feels good. And that can just go ahead and be a log right there as well. So this is like our staircase that leads up to the second floor. And then we can just go ahead and fill in all of these. I can put a torch here and here. We can fill in these, and there we go. We now have ourselves a like a proper second story, which is pretty cool. And we'll maybe get rid of the torches on the sides because we'll put windows in there or something, right? Something along these lines. I would like to have a torch. Maybe we'll put the torches up a bit more. There we go. That's a little better. But We got a staircase here, a little area over here. This is very out of place, but we could maybe put some bookshelves in there or something, right? Maybe something like that, just right in this little section. Or maybe we put some of this back in. Yeah, there we go. That doesn't look too bad. So because we can inset them into the wall like that, we actually have the ability to do that in this house, which isn't something that you always get, you know, so given that we have the chance, I think it's probably best that we do. We'll move those torches down so that all the torches are at the same level. I think we probably want a torch like right about here. So as you're coming up the stairs, you know, you can see it's all lit up. And then let's see what we can do for some decorative stuff. So let's grab ourselves a bed and let's figure out. I think the bedroom probably should be upstairs. We'll put a couple of beds right here. Downstairs would be like the kitchen, right? Like over here probably, I'm thinking, is kind of our kitchen area. So maybe we grab a furnace, which totally looks like an oven, by the way. Maybe put that here. What's the jukebox look like? Looks like a thing. I don't know. Let's put down a couple. Let's put down one furnace here. And then maybe some sort of counter would be good. Not quartz. Quartz doesn't make sense. Maybe we go cobble. Or maybe we go stone, actually. Oh, come on. I can't type today. There we go. We'll grab stone slabs and regular stone brick. And the stone slabs can kind of come around like that. We can put that in here. And there. Or maybe we do something along those lines. Like this is our little kitchen. Or actually, let's grab a cauldron. There we go. Put that guy. Ooh, nope. Let's grab a big cauldron. There we go. That's better. Grab ourselves a bucket of water. Fill that thing up with actual water. That's like the sink. And then, is there any sort of like cupboard? Cupboards with tools, cupboards. Oh, those are nice. Those are very nice, in fact. Those will totally work. We can kind of put those up there above. Or better yet... Oh. Better yet, we can put them up here. We can connect that. Do those... So here they look beautiful. Here they look super derpy. Isn't that just typical? We'll just kind of bring them across up here. I wish I could control which one of those it was, but whatever. And then there's a whole bunch of decorative stuff. If we go animals, decorations, here we go. There's like hanging carrots, hanging sausages, hanging fish, hanging herbs, hanging all sorts of things. Bananas, rabbit, sausage, pig. Hanging mutton? Sure, why not? And we can just hang some of those things up here. Like that. Just kind of hang it up here in the kitchen, you know, able to be used if needed. Just a few different things. So I think that's good. And then let's grab ourselves a painting. And there's a nice... Ooh, that one worked. That one would be good too. But there's like a... There's one that's like a ladle. It might be a 3-wide, actually, now that I think about it. Let me just see. It's like a set of ladles and all sorts of things. There we go. It is a 2-wide. Okay, so I'm going to get that one over here. All right, guys, I am back. So we've got our knife set, we've got our ladles and stuff. Over here, we've got a plate. There is actually one that has food on it, I know, but these ones don't appear to. It might be, yeah, it looks like they actually have to sit on top of something else. Oh, it can't go there. All right, let me get my ladles back. All right, there we go. 10 minutes later, we have our ladles. Okay, it wasn't quite 10 minutes, but it might as well have been. It was ridiculous. Anyway, now let's look at panes, and I think we're going to go with these fancy glass panes for our windows. I think they're very pretty and very nice, and I think they fit the theme and the style very well. So we'll kind of get those in place. Put those up here. There we go. That looks good. Going back to our kitchen, let's maybe grab a barrel of apples, or a basket of apples, even better. Actually, let's kind of put it over here a little bit, because that gives us more of a defined walkway, which I think is good. As for tables, there is a little table here that we can kind of put down. I don't know what I want to put in that corner, if anything. Maybe we'll just put like a little potted plant there. So let's grab a flower pot and maybe like a blue orchid. We'll just kind of do something like that. That's not bad. I think that's good. So that's a nice little kitchen area. That's a very nice little kitchen area. Now, let's look at hoppers. And let's look at drains. Is there any sort of drain in here? Doesn't look like it. So the hopper's going to have to do. And this is going to be our little, well, you know what it is. We'll just leave it at that. Need a door for some privacy, though. That's very important. Jungle door? Sure, that looks good. Okay, so I got a little privacy door there. We need something over here in this space. So maybe I will grab another table. Just a single one. We'll just put that like right here. And on top of that, let's see what we have for decorations again. Apple pie. Ooh, I do love apple pie. It's not going to go there, but we'll find something that does. Bread should go in the kitchen for sure. Tiles. Hanging flowers. Scales. None of this stuff is really... Ooh, a goblet. That totally works. That's something that totally makes sense for it to be there. And I'm just going to put some bread maybe here and down here. Sure, we'll put a little goblet right here. I'm going to grab a painting again. And I think like right here, we'll maybe hang one of those banners. And then here, I'm going to go ahead and put one of the shield and sword if I can get it. There we go. We'll put that right up there. Okay, so that's kind of cute. It's nice. It gets the job done. All right. Then coming up here, we've got a lot of space here that we can fill as well. So first thing I want to do is grab myself some spruce stairs and some more oak logs. And this center beam, I want the logs like so. And then I want to put stairs in these areas right here, just so we have a nice kind of smooth transition. That's going to prevent me from being able to get up, isn't it? It is. Okay, well, that's fine. We'll start it over here. Can I go here without it blocking my thing? What about here? Yes. Okay. And that is the limit of how far I'm able to go without it getting in the way. So we'll go to there. That all looks good. And this is like our little staircase that kind of leads down. Okay. Nice. Now, going back, we've got other tables. We've got another shelf I can maybe put right here. Let's see. What else could we put up here? Maybe some pots? Maybe... Man, there are so many things. So many things. Little blue chair? Maybe we put that like here? Just a little kind of cute... not there. Maybe we put it here in between? No. You know what? This could be storage of some sort. Let's grab a crate and an empty basket. And let's just kind of put a few of those in over here. Couple of pots, right? Just a few things to kind of, you know, they got to store their stuff somewhere. We'll grab, a spice rack. That can also totally go in the kitchen, and should. We'll put that right here. That's a good spot for it. Awesome. Back to shelves. We'll put one shelf in between. Grab a flower pot. And another blue orchid. We'll put that in there. And then let's grab maybe some wolf skin. And we'll just make like a little wolf skin carpet pelt thing over here, right? And we don't want it to be perfectly symmetrical or anything like that, because then it's going to look really kind of out of place. Or maybe we do. Maybe we do want it to be symmetrical in this case. Just like a little rug. That's not a little rug. That's a big rug. I think we do it right here. That kind of makes the most sense to me. Just at the foot of the bed. And then last but not least, I'm just going to grab a chest. We'll put a little chest right here. And maybe another one, maybe a little double chest right over there. And there we go. We have ourselves a relatively nice little house that is unfortunately missing a front door. I should probably do something about that. No, not that door. That door. There we go. We have ourselves a relatively cute little house. It gets the job done. And I quite like it. And there's a few other things we could do to it, and we may. For example, if I wanted to swap out... Oh, come on. Get up there. You know, we could swap out some of these windows for stairs like that. That could help in a few ways. You know, there's little things we could do just to kind of add a little bit of extra detail to the house. But overall, I think it's not bad. And unfortunately, guys, I am very much out of time for this episode. So if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave me a comment. I do appreciate it, and it really helps out my channel. You can also find me on Facebook, Twitter, and Twitch. There are links in the video description below, so check that out as well. Otherwise, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll definitely see you next time.